Okay, I was tagged for this Japan tag thing, which I never even heard of until I was tagged for it, so... Yeah. Is that your first answer? Question number 1, why did you move to Japan? Well, I got interested in Japan, wanted to experience it, and a vacation just doesn't do it. You want to learn about a country, you gotta live there for a while. And now I've lived here for about 15 years. Number 2, what's your favorite Japanese food and why? It used to be okonomiyaki, mostly I think because of ramen nibu no ichi. But now it's actually Japanese curry. I can just eat that stuff for days on end and it doesn't get old. Where's your favorite place in Japan and why? This is really specific. Near Hiroshima City is the island of Miyajima. That's the one with the big famous torii standing in the sea. There's this one temple that stairs lead up to the temple, and then there's a side gate. You go out the side gate, down this path, through the woods, and you end up at a waterfall, which has this rock leading at a very sharp angle, and the waterfall runs down that, and I just love that waterfall. That is my favorite spot in Japan. I've only been there twice. I don't know why it's my favorite, but it just is. I love waterfalls. What's my favorite Japanese word or kanji and why? No idea. Really don't know. I don't think I have a favorite. Any kanji I can actually read, which is not that many of them. I'm at about a grade 2 level. What's one thing surprised you during your time in Japan? Well, I was really surprised the first time I saw a yakuza in an onsen, and his entire back was done up in one big, beautiful tattoo. That was kind of a surprise. Have you picked up any Japanese habits? Yeah, I think pointing at my nose, I do that, you know, for me, instead of pointing it here. When I realize I'm pointing at my nose, I switch to my chest. Where's the next place you want to travel in Japan and why? I want to go to Shikoku. I've never been to Shikoku. There's some food there I want to try, and I want to check out the pottery of Shikoku because I love Japanese pottery. If you could start your life in Japan again, is there something you would do differently? Yes, I would travel around more on the weekend. When I was single and had free time on the weekends, I didn't do so much. I should have gone around more and explored, even just locally. What's the best single piece of advice you have for first-timers in Japan? That's actually changed. When I first came here, it was like when you go, know where the Western toilets are. That was a big piece of advice, an important piece of advice like 15 years ago. Now it's not so big a deal. I haven't thought about it recently. Yes. She's talking to Houdini. When you go walking down the street in big cities, as people are handing out tissue packs, always accept them. It doesn't matter that they're advertising for some store. I never read the advertising anyway, but I always saved up my tissues. So for my first 3 years in Japan, I never once bought tissues. Never had to. Also keep them in your pocket in case you're traveling around and find a public washroom that doesn't have paper, because that still does happen sometimes. Not as much as before. That was also essential 15 years ago. Always carry tissues. Not so big a deal now. I guess now I'm supposed to tag somebody else. I'm not sure how many people I'm supposed to tag, but I'm gonna tag Find Me in Kurume and Light Japan, because I know they're both in Japan and I checked they haven't done this yet. So there you go. You're welcome. Say bye-bye, Nina.
Bye-bye.
Let's go inside. My sunburn's hurting. Ow.